Okay, now it's time for round 3, which is not immediately obvious to tell from that icon, but it's a military base. Oh, goody. This is where the game starts to get a little more unfair, because now they're pitting you against soldiers with guns. And there are lots of them. The gimmick in this first stage is this wire fence, chain fence, whatever. Fence of some description. By doing a spin jump, you flick between the background and the foreground, and their objects and enemies can be appearing on both. That was a good reason to use the spread shot right there. You've got to plan carefully here, because if you take the wrong side, you will get murderized. For example, this guy with a flamethrower would murderize you. And this guy throwing grenades would murderize me if I was on the front side, which I'm not. But if I jump across and spread shot, I get rid of him. And there's a bomb there. I don't really want explosives. What I want is more shurikens. I also want to not get hit. I also want to leave this background area. Because as you can see, those two are in the back, 3 even, are in the background, and I don't even want to deal with them, so I'm just going to leave them behind. And I always forget that guy. Crouching there, like a coward. Shoot me in the face, why don't you? Ya bastards. We're going to want that crate. To get this crate, you need to start in the background, jump and shoot at the top, and then you do a double jump from the foreground to reach it, like that. Now, do I want to be in the foreground here? I think I probably do. Okay. Let's move on, and hopefully not get shot. A whole lot. Okay, we're going to want to switch again. Okay, he's in the foreground. We don't want to deal with him. Stop shooting me, you bastard! Suffer spread shot. Also, there's a dog. Dogs are everywhere, and they're your worst enemies. Something you may have noticed just happened. My health bar increased. It's all governed by your score. Believe it or not, the score actually has a use in this game. It directly affects the length of your health bar. The more points you get during the game, the longer it is. Which means, of course, that if you get a game over and thus lose all your points and all your health bar, forget it, you're not finishing the game. It really is that simple. This game does not fuck around. As you can tell, I'm getting my ass kicked right about now. Gonna want this health and this power-up. I'm never able to hang on to the health power-up for very long. Not health power-up, the power-up power-up. That seems like a double superlative. That's not even a thing. Is that a thing? Who cares? Now we're on a plane. The environments in Revenge of Shinobi are varied and interesting. You are varied and interesting in your explosive death. Got quite a few shurikens now. I don't normally have this many. Because when you die, you go back to the amount you set at the beginning in the options menu. So in my case, that would be 50. Not 55. Oh, indeed no. Let's ride a lift to our doom. Or theirs. The soldiers also copy your ducking to an extent, but they will remain in one pose until they've at least fired once, I think it is. So you're going to abuse them a little. But by far my least favourite of the soldier-type enemies are the grenade throwers, because the grenade can just screw you over completely if you get stuck in the wrong place with it. There's one now. And there goes my power-ups. Great, thanks for that! Don't want to be standing up there. And these doors that keep opening, if you stand on those, it's instant death, because you fall out of the plane. And not all of them open, and not all of them open constantly, and you were lucky I was ducking there. Because if you get hit there, guess what happens? You get knocked back into insta-death. Same with that guy. I got very lucky the first time around. You need to die now, please. Hang on. I've missed something here. We need to retreat. We need to return to whence we have been. We need to go down here. Because there are bonus items. Everybody wants bonus items. And everybody wants to do a duck jump, do a duck dance. Ducks don't dance, you have lied to me. Or do they? You may never know. I need that health power-up, that's the main reason. Health power-ups are few and far between, and you will get hit a lot in this game. Because, as I said before, this game's pretty hard. It doesn't look it right now, but I have had a fair bit of practice. So, that helps. Especially with the later level. There's some pretty BS stuff coming up. Around about level 5, I think we're looking at. Whoa, hey now. You're gonna want to stop doing that shit to me if you could. If you would. That would be great. Yeah, it's pretty hard to time not getting shot there. Unfortunately. Not getting shot was on my schedule, but my schedule has been ignored by the larger arm of the military. I can only assume that they're somehow working for Neo Z as well. Who knows? Who cares? The only motive that's important right now is destructinating. Oh, and also there's a boss now. And this boss is the most tedious and annoying boss in the game. I'll explain why this is. You have to keep moving back, left and right, to avoid this laser beam from killing you. The boss itself is a brain in a jar, which I've just managed to miss completely. You need to hit that brain in a jar about 15 times, and you're only allowed to hit it once per cycle, when it comes out and then goes back in again. Which means this will be tedious, and this will take ages, and I'm probably going to lose my patience very quickly with the brain in a jar, brain in a jar. No one knows why, no one knows what it's for. What does this machine do? Nobody knows, nobody cares. I don't think it's important, so let's throw shurikens at the brain in a jar. Yeah, so isn't this an exciting piece of gameplay right now? Laser beams being avoided. I have tried to jump in the gap between the front of the machine and the brain jar to hit it a few more times when it goes back inside like that. Trust me, it's not worth the risk. Because touching the front of the machine damages you. And not by a small amount either. No, by quite a large amount in fact. Also, jumping's not a tremendously good idea either, because it slows you down just a fraction, which is enough to get you hit by said laser beam, which also does not do a little amount of damage, but rather a lot amount of damage. A rather large amount of damage. I could be using the Carryu ninja power again, but I prefer to hang on to the ninja powers because there are better places to use them, and this is not one of them, because this boss is fairly straightforward, if boring. Settle in for a long wait while we walk slowly back and forward to avoid a laser-related death. Brain in a jar slowly turns green. Yes, this game suffers from the same thing that Ghostbusters and indeed many games do, in that the bosses recolor themselves as you do more damage, as an indication that you are damaging them. Except in this game it's a little bit more progressive rather than flat-out color changes. This one goes from pink to green very slowly. And yes, that really is the most interesting thing I could think to talk about right now. If only we could use the sword. Somehow I'm sure it would make this easier. Maybe we could reflect a laser beam. That's not really how swords work. It's not a mirror shield. And this is not James Bond, my friends. That's twice now. That's twice. He'll be a happy man. Anyway, ninja walk. Everyone, do the ninja walk. Maybe not actually. It doesn't seem like a good idea. It seems to just get you bored and killed. Probably not in that order. Ho-hum, brain in a jar. Is this the best you can do? Is this the best you can accomplish? I'm strongly reminded of Sonic and Knuckles right about now, except with less fun. Ah, jeez. How many times does this fucking brain need to pop out before it explodes and dies? Part of me is wishing that door would open and hurl me into the abyss just so I wouldn't have to deal with this crap anymore. Yawn! Ninjas really should be doing far more than this. You'd think a game about ninjas would involve a little bit more action than just walking and throwing shurikens, but you'd be wrong. Go play Ninja Gaiden if that's what you want. This is the slow ninja game. The slow and slightly less interesting ninja game. Actually, strictly not true. I prefer this to Ninja Gaiden, because I can beat this. This is difficult, don't get me wrong, but it's not quite as balls to the wall as that. So, yeah, there you go. That's what happens if you jump. You get hit. So the lesson here, kids, is don't. You've only got so many hits, and you don't really want to be redoing this boss, believe me. It's long and boring and tedious enough without redos. Reattempts at this crap. Alright, he's getting greener with envy. He envies the fact that I have legs! Or indeed, a body at all, because he is nothing but a brain in a jar. Brain. There you go. That does actually damage you, so don't let it hit you if you've only got one hit left. And with that, round 3 is completed.